The purpose of this recording is to talk about balance for cholesterol. I've been using this supplement for 30 years. Why does somebody use a supplement for 30 years? Because it works. But how does it work? When I started taking it, I didn't have high cholesterol. I didn't have high blood sugar. I didn't have high triglycerides. So why would I take this? Well, number one, prevention is important. As you age, it is not uncommon for people's cholesterol to go up and for people's triglycerides to go up as their metabolism slows down, their blood sugar has a harder time being processed. But the reason why I've taken it continuously for 30 years is because it is a combination of soluble and insoluble fibers that does something extraordinary for your body's ability to use your own stored fat for energy. What I mean is every time you drink balance, it is going to tamp down blood sugar spikes. When you eat a meal that has carbohydrates, which is most meals, whether you're eating broccoli or you're eating bread or pasta or drinking a beer or wine, all those are carbohydrates. And when carbohydrates go into your bloodstream, they become glucose. The speed of the entry of the carbohydrate is tied to what we call the glycemic index. If it has a lot of fiber like broccoli, the carbohydrate is going to be processed a lot slower. But if you're drinking a beer or a glass of wine or eating French fries, those carbohydrates are going to go in very quickly into your bloodstream. And when the glucose enters your bloodstream quickly, it's going to quickly produce a lot of insulin. Eating broccoli as a carbohydrate is only going to produce a little bit of insulin, but refined carbohydrates are going to cause a huge insulin spike. And why is that important? When you produce insulin, your body is going to have to process that over a period of time. If you produce a little bit of insulin, in 4 hours, the insulin's gone from your body, and now you can go into what's called the fat burning zone because insulin is a fat storage hormone. It's going to keep your body from burning your stored fat for energy. So when you eat a meal high in fiber, let's say broccoli and beans, that's going to have a lot of fiber. In 4 hours, that insulin's gone and you can get into that fat burning zone. But if you're eating a typical American meal that's going to have some processed food, whether it's bread or pasta or you're drinking wine or beer with your meal or you're eating carbohydrates that are more processed, it is going to cause a bigger spike in your blood sugar, which is going to produce a bigger amount of insulin, which is going to cause a larger time period before insulin can leave your body. Insulin keeps your body from using your stored fat. So your goal is to get the insulin out of your body within 4 hours. Balance helps you do that. And how does it help you do it? When you drink balance 10 to 15 minutes before your meal, this fiber sets up as a gel in your digestive tract, and all the glucose that your food is producing as you're chewing it has to pass through that gel. That gel slows down the entry of glucose into your cells, so your pancreas, which produces insulin, is going to read it as not so high glycemic. You're not going to be spiking your blood sugar, so you're going to produce less insulin. When you produce less insulin, you can get into the fat burning zone faster. Why do I drink this 10 to 15 minutes before a meal? That's one reason. I want to process my carbohydrates in a way that is going to allow me to get into a fat burning zone sooner so that I can be more slim, I can be more cut. You can see my muscle definition better because I'm using my stored fat for energy at about 4 hours. But also the other reason I take this is because it controls my appetite. When you drink this 10 to 15 minutes before your meal, you're going to feel more satiated. You're not going to get that incredible hunger like when you sit down at the table at a restaurant and they put bread on the table and you can't say no. The very first thing I do when I go into a restaurant is I drink this, whether I'm bringing a bottle of water with me to shake it or I'm stirring it into a glass of water. That's the very first thing I do before I even look at the menu, because if this is in my digestive tract, it's going to calm my appetite. I'm going to make smarter choices in the food that I'm going to eat because I'm not going to be ravenous. I do this for the promotion of keeping my body fat lower. That is the reason I take this religiously. There are a lot of other reasons that I'll share with you in other videos, but if you have an interest in preventing the buildup of fat or reducing that layer of fat that comes onto all parts of your body as you age, balance is your ticket.